One of the most common performance traps, especially for people who function in high pressure environments such as medicine, is overanalysis. And the most important thing that we need to be aware of is how it impairs perception. If you think about what it is in athletics, for example, it's largely read and react kind of performance conditions. I would venture that the same exists in medicine, which is to say, when you are in a moment that potentially has some intensity, the tendency is to become too in our head, to start to press and overthink things. And at the detriment of being aware, situationally aware is the buzzword that would be most readily identifiable. I'll share with you a story of how this can happen. I worked with an athlete one time, an Olympic level archer, and he was competing at a very prestigious event, and he found himself, he wasn't having his best day, shall we say. And with each successive poor shot, not only did his score begin to tank, but so too did his focus and his perception. To the point where, by the end of the day, he had done fairly poorly for his own standards. So we were talking afterwards. He'd phoned me from his hotel room, and he'd gone back, and he was starting to come down from the experience, and he threw his gear on the floor, and as he began to reset emotionally and cognitively, and as he became more perceptive, as he started to get his bearings back, he sensed a strong throbbing sensation in his thumb. And it dawned on him that this was indicative of a form error. He was gripping his bow incorrectly. And had he not allowed those thoughts and feelings to take over him in the moment, he would have recognized and felt the sensation of the pain, made a very quick and basic form adjustment, and most likely would have performed to his standard. Now, if we take that idea and we bring it into medicine, the same thing can occur. If you think of all that you must manage in a situation as the leader, as the physician who is tasked with not only handling the specific case, but the cacophony of things that are going on around you, machines that are buzzing, people that are having their 2 cents worth, perhaps it's families that are emotional, etc. And if we begin to narrow our focus too much, if we get too caught up in what's going on in our head, we will miss out on valuable information that exists in the environment that we can use, that is, to inform our decision making and perhaps the course of action that we take. So learning how to maintain a sense of perception in a moment that is intense, and as well to counteract against the very human tendency to begin to overanalyze, is an invaluable and perhaps, in this case, literally life-saving skill that I would suggest that you spend some time learning more about. And in a follow-up podcast, I'll be sharing some information as to how you can do just so.